Well, I hope that you're having a good day today. If you're not, I hope tomorrow is better for you. If you're sick or hurting in any way, we want to let you know that we love you, and if we can do anything for you, we would just ask that you ask us. You might be wondering why I'm wearing my Atlanta Braves shirt to make this, why I'm wearing it in this video. I'm burning up today. Everywhere I've went, I have just been, it's like I cannot get cool. So I put on this short sleeve shirt, and I felt like I needed to support the Braves. They've been in a slump lately, and we have a game tonight. So maybe if I wear this shirt, maybe we'll win. We're in the book of Job, and last week we talked a lot about Job, the man Job. We talked a lot about him, talked a lot about his children, talked a lot about his livestock. Tonight we're kind of transitioning. We're transitioning from the earth to heaven. And it's in Job chapter 1 in verse 6 is where we're starting, that we see the scene of the divine council in heaven. And we won't review anymore, but we'll jump straight into it. So we're in Job chapter 1 tonight. If you haven't read that, pause the video. I almost forgot. Please go read Job chapter 1 and then come back. If you have, we're ready for it. We're in verse 6. Now, here's what verse 6 says. Now there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before Yahweh, and the Satan also came among them. Now there was a day. This might call our attention back maybe to the end of verse 5. You remember what that said? For Job said, "It may be that my children have sinned and cursed God in their hearts. Thus Job did all of his days." It's like we've seen how great a person Job is. You remember, personally Job is blameless. Socially he's upright. Religiously he's one who fears God. And morally he's one that he's a person that shuns evil. All his days he does good. But on this day, this day in heaven, the sons of God come to present themselves before Yahweh. Yahweh is he is he's who we know of as God. He's the God of Israel. He's the supreme deity of the council here. And the sons of God come. Now that invites us to ask the question, who are the sons of God? Well, it appears that the sons of God are the angels. The angels come before God and they meet with Yahweh. Now, what are they doing? Well, it seems like they come before Yahweh and they report on their activities, and perhaps they get Yahweh gives them new orders to go follow out. We don't know a whole lot about the sons of God and what they do in this depiction. We're introduced to the Satan. Now, who is the Satan? Well, scholars have debated back and forth on the identity of the Satan. Nobody really knows who this mysterious figure is, but what everybody is certain about is he has a very prominent role in the book of Job, as we will see. Now, we'll go to verse, I looked up and lost my spot. We'll go to verse 7. The Lord said to the Satan, "From where have you come?" Yahweh, he asked the Satan a question. Hey, where have you been? Where are you coming from? Well, the Satan answers Yahweh and he says, "From going to and fro on the earth and from walking up and down on it." Hey, where are you coming from? Well, I've been roaming the earth. It's as if the Satan, it's like he's not looking for anyone specific, but he's just roaming the earth, maybe looking for people involving themselves in sinful activities, maybe looking for disloyalty to Yahweh. I don't know. I don't know what he's doing exactly. But he says that I've been roaming about the earth. And Yahweh said to the Satan, have you considered my servant Job? There is none like him on the earth, a blameless and upright man, one who fears God and turns away from evil. Now notice what Yahweh asked the Satan. Have you considered my servant Job? There's none like him on the earth, a blameless and upright man, one who fears God and turns away from evil. You've been doing a lot of roaming, but in your roaming, have you noticed this guy named Job? Okay, now, we were introduced to Job in chapter 1, verse 1, and we learn a lot about him. We learn that he's the greatest of all the people in the East. If we had any doubts about Job's character when we read that, like if we thought, is that really true? Was it? No, Yahweh confirms it here. Okay, Job is the guy that we have read about so far. We know that in the fourfold description that's given to Job in verse 1, anybody in the Old Testament would have been happy to have had just one of those things said about them. Job has all four. It was unheard of. He is a great man. There's no questioning that. We know, we've read, he's the greatest of all the people in the East. Yahweh elevates it even more. There's no one like him on the earth. Now he asked the Satan that. Have you considered Job in all your roaming? What do you have you seen anything about him? Have you heard anything? What is? Well, in asking that question, the Satan answers kind of that question with another question. What does he say? Verse 9. The Satan answered Yahweh and said, does Job fear God for no reason? Have you not put a hedge around him and his house and all that he has on every side? You have blessed the work of his hands, and his possessions have increased in the land. You say that this Job is just this great guy. But you think he fears you for no reason? Now notice that was one of the descriptions of Job that we find in verse 1. He fears God. The Satan doesn't seem to question or have any problem with Job's personal and social aspect of his life. He's questioning the religious aspect. Does he fear you for nothing, Yahweh? Notice that's really a question to Job. And then that second question, have you not put a hedge around him and his household and all that he has on every side? That's a question to Yahweh. One's to Job, it seems, one's to Yahweh. Does he fear you for nothing? We have to wonder what the Satan is getting at here. Is he trying to say, it's true that Job fears you, but I'm going to question his motivation? Or is he saying, it seems like he fears you in the moment, but you really haven't figured it out yet. He actually doesn't fear you. I don't know the answer to that. But we know for sure that the Satan thinks that people serve God for selfish reasons. That's why Job does it, Yahweh. Job doesn't serve you because he really loves you. Job serves you because you give him good things. And if you stopped giving Job good things, he would stop serving you. This hedge that the Satan speaks of, that God has put around Job, seems like he's saying, you know what, this hedge, you've put it there to protect Job, but because you've put it around him, you can never know his true motivation. Verse 11. But stretch out your hand and touch all that he has, and he will curse you to your face. And Yahweh said to the Satan, behold, all that he has is in your hand. Only against him do not stretch out your hand. So Satan went out from the presence of the Lord. We're familiar with that part of the story. I tell you what, if you think that, go test Job. Don't stretch out your hand against him. But if you think that he serves me because I blessed his possessions, go. We get to verse 13. Now there was a day when his sons and daughters were eating and drinking wine in their oldest brother's house. You remember from before, the oldest brothers have feasts and they invite their sisters to come to the feasts. Well, they're having one and they're at the oldest brother's house. And there came a messenger to Job and said, the oxen were plowing and the donkeys feeding beside them. Okay, how does that message start out? It seems like all was normal, Job. All was normal. It was a normal day. But in a moment's time, disaster struck. And the Sabeans fell upon them and took them and struck down the servants with the edge of the sword. And I alone have escaped to tell you. While he was yet speaking, there came another. Okay, we're going to get 4 catastrophes in this little section. It's almost like it's in a... it's not like. They're presented in rapid succession. Just bang, 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 bang. One after the other. While he was still speaking, there came another and said, the fire of God fell from heaven and burned up the sheep and the servants and consumed them, and I alone have escaped to tell you. While he was yet speaking, there came another and said, the Chaldeans formed 3 groups and made a raid on the camels and took them and struck down the servants with the edge of the sword, and I alone have escaped to tell you. While he was yet speaking, there came another and said, your sons and your daughters were eating and drinking wine in their oldest brother's house. And behold, a great wind came across the wilderness and struck the 4 corners of the house, and it fell upon the young people, and they are dead. And I alone have escaped to tell you. I've said we have the 4 catastrophes here that are presented. It's interesting that there's 4, because we get the 4-fold description of Job's character, and then we get the 4-fold description of his blessings. He has all these children, his household is blessed, his livestock is blessed, his social status is blessed, that 4-fold description. And now we get this these four catastrophes. The first catastrophe and the third catastrophe, that humans are responsible for that. Then the second and the fourth, they're what maybe we would call acts of God. Fire comes down. Lightning comes down. Verse 18 is the description of the longest catastrophe, and or the longest description of any of the catastrophes. Why? Because it has to do with the loss of Job's greatest possession, his children. So here we have it. We have this great man who's lost all his possessions, including his greatest, his children. And we're wondering what he's going to do. The blessings, they're gone. What's Job going to do? Verse 20. Then Job arose and tore his robe and shaved his head and fell on the ground. Now, notice in the catastrophes there's this idea of falling. We don't see it with the Chaldeans, but notice, let me get back up to it. Yeah. Verse 14, the oxen were plowing and the donkeys feeding beside them, and the Sabeans fell. And then while he was yet speaking, there came another and said, the fire of God fell. And then we skip the Chaldeans because it's not mentioned there. And while he was yet speaking, another came and said, your sons and your daughters were eating, drinking wine in their oldest brother's house. And behold, a great wind came across the wilderness and struck the four corners of the house, and it fell. What's the fourth one? Job. Job has fallen. What's he going to do? He worships. That's after he's, torn his robe and shaved his head. Signs of grief and vulnerability. He worships, and then he says, naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked I shall return. The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. In all this, Job did not sin or charge God with wrong. That's something. The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Well, next week, we're in chapter 2. I know we're ending on kind of a, maybe a harsh note tonight with that part of the story. But we're in chapter 2, and Job has not left God yet, and he's not going to. We're going to find out. I'll spoil that surely. I think we've all read the book of Job. But chapter 2 next week. I can't wait to see everybody Sunday. I hope you have a great rest of the week. God bless.